Right, let's begin. Hopefully you can see and hear me okay. I was having a few problems with my camera. And I've rearranged things in my room a little bit, so mic's on this side instead of that side. So hopefully everything's okay. Praise be the spiral. Happy Thursday to everybody. Oh, pardon me. We see and hear you. Thank you very much for the bits, Anton. Appreciate it indeed. I've also stuck a light up here as well, which hopefully will prevent me from going really dark and really light. I mean, I'll still go light, I'm assuming, when I run this, because it's white on the screen. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully everything's working on the backgrounds and stuff. Yeah, good. Hey Sean, how's it going? Yeah, so I've had a nice couple of days off. 12 days or something. It's been really good. Beard looking good. It's getting a bit wiry and a bit big. I think I need to trim it down at some point. Yeah, needs to get trimmed, I think. I was a bit too lazy to do it on my time off. So did I stop code? Yeah, I didn't do a single thing. I barely had Discord on. I barely had anything on. I just played games. I had a friend down, and I just drank and smoked and played games, and it was great. I loved it. It was awesome. Did a lot of 3D printing as well. I've been trying to get back into that a bit more as well. Did I have pants? I did have pants on. I had friends around, so I think it would be rude of me to to bring people in. And by smoke, do you mean vapes? No, I mean naughty smoking. I mean naughty smoking. I don't smoke that stuff very often, but when I do, I like to indulge. So, but it was good. You know, it's an old friend of mine. I've not seen him for 25 years or so. At the time you realize it's not a vid comedy, you don't have pants. But yeah, I'd not seen him for 25 years, and we were kind of smoky buddies back then. So it was one of those things. He came down, and we do it. I do it every now and again. I do when Sean comes down as well. Sean will tell you. But I absolutely cannot code when I've been smoking that. So zero chance of me doing any code. I'm good at coding when I think I'm good at coding when I'm drunk. I assume I'm fairly decent because I manage to make some stuff while I'm drunk every Saturday. But with a bit of weed, I can't do anything. So oddly, you can code stone, but you can't code after G. Yeah, other way around for me. So we just played games. We just played StarCraft and oh god, what did we play? We played StarCraft, Deep Rock Galactic. Tried to play the Ascent, but that was just being a nightmare. But yeah, it was good. It was a nice break. It was good to kind of refresh my batteries a little bit and not feel too much pressure. Yeah, it was pretty decent. Oh, I posted some stuff today as well. So, the two winners, so Amok and Tron, who won the Dot Cosmos, I've signed those and sent them out today. I've signed them on the back. It is kind of, you can see it, you can read it if you just hold it in the right light, but it's quite dark on the back, so it's difficult to get a good signing on there. But I've done that for you, and those two are on the way. And Andy, your copy of Resident Evil Village is on the way. I'm considering doing as well. So Christmas is going to be an exciting month. So it's just to kind of go over the things that we've got coming up in the next few months. Christmas is going to be exciting. I've got an exciting competition to announce, which I won't announce yet. I'll be announcing it in about a week or two. And that's it's going to be the final. It's basically the December competition, but I'm going to announce it early, so you'll have 3 months to do something for that, because it's a big one. That's really looking forward to that. Looking forward to announcing that to you all. It's really exciting. It's been in the works for a couple of months now, so it'd be good to do that. I'm also considering, depending on funds, and so far it's looking good, I'm considering doing a PS5 giveaway at Christmas as well. But I want to do the PS5 giveaway to subs only. So so that will be something, because it will be a giveaway. It will just be a giveaway. It will be based on subscriptions as well. Two reasons for that. One, it's going to give those people who've been here a long time a chance to win. It's also going to mean that it's funded properly. So if a sub comes in, it pays. You know, it helps pay for it anyway. Actually, Sean, I was going to ask you that for Christmas if you wanted a PS5. I'll speak to you off stream about that, but yeah, it's possible. Anyway, yeah, so possibly there's going to be a PS5 giveaway at Christmas. We shall see. So where am I getting PS5s from? Well, nowhere. Yeah, I'd be buying them early if I can. I've got lots of alerts set up, so I can get in the queues very early. So hopefully I can get on those. So before we go on, so we're going to do some Cecconoid tonight. I've got to plan exactly what we're going to do tonight. We've got it all kind of worked out in my head, whether or not it makes it onto the computer or not, I don't know, but it's all kind of up there at the moment, so I've got a plan for it. Oh, pardon me. Oh God, wow. I'm probably going to start giving away some of these as well. So I mean, this is really badly printed at the moment, but some RetroPie kind of, you can't really see it because it's green. Some RetroPie stuff again. So that might be something we come up with soon as well. Take one signed by Bill Gates. I'm that desperate. Okay, so the competition for this month seems to be going quite well. I'm sorry I've not been around as much as usual this month. As I said, you know, taking 2 weeks off, I deliberately turned all my chat programs off, everything off basically to just try and kind of disconnect a little bit and recharge. And I think it was pretty good. So, but yeah, it looks like the competition is going quite well. It seems that there's quite a few people entering it, which was my worry at first. Oh, sorry, just catching up on something there in the chat. Okay, I'll check that later. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it looks to be going quite well. I've had one entry sent to me already. I've not had time to check it yet, but I will do that this weekend. I will also make sure that the next challenge is kind of simple enough that it involves a lot more people. I've said this already. I don't quite know what it's going to be. I've got about a week to think it up, so I do have to kind of hurry up and think of that. But it's looking pretty good so far for the TRSE challenge. So thank you to everybody who's entering that. The deadline is next week, I believe, next Friday. So a week tomorrow. I will try and announce the next challenge directly after that. But technically, this is the last game challenge of this kind. Okay, cool. Let's crack on, shall we? Let's do some stuff. So, what I wanted to do tonight was finish off the Robotron levels. Oh yeah, let me add the points and start the races. Hang on. Very good point. Oh, just so you know as well, if I do start doing giveaways that are tied to subs, I will make sure that those people who are in Patreon can also enter if they're not sub to the Twitch channel as well. Because I am aware that there are people that sub to both, that sub to Patreon and sub to Twitch. I am aware that there's people that just sub to Patreon and vice versa. So I'll make sure that anybody who's a patron can also enter the competition. That doesn't mean you get 2 entries, and it will be a single ticket basically, because it won't be because it's based on subs. It will just be a single ticket. You will need to be subbed to do it. I do kind of expect that subs may increase somewhat as I announce that, because it will be something that I will be kind of promoting a little bit before the stream, probably from the beginning of December. So I do expect to potentially get more subs because of it. Probably just kind of 1 month of people, but the rules will stipulate you do need to be on the stream, so they will need to be around at midnight on the day that I give the thing away. So yeah, wasn't there a possibility to link Patreon and Twitch users somehow? I'm not sure. I did have a look some time ago to try and do that, and I couldn't. I couldn't figure that out. Would you post the PS5 abroad? Yes, I will post it to anywhere in the world. I will cover the postage cost, but I will not cover the customs cost. That's going to be down to the and that will be in the rules as well. Just a stipulation that you will have to pay customs costs. It does also mean you'll get a UK version. You'll get an English version, so you may need a different power cord. But I imagine PS5 through customs will not be cheap. So we can always arrange, whoever wins it, we can always arrange some kind of delivery way to do the delivery. It can be done on your terms, but we'll sort that out nearer the time. Anyway, it was just something I was kind of thinking about, and it would be an exciting kind of Christmas giveaway. I do like giving away stuff, and the Christmas giveaway was a lot of fun last year, and I believe this year we can make it even bigger. I think you guys are going to really like December, if you like your giveaways. So, right, okay, so let me start the races and the quizzes, and let's crack on. So let me just show you where we were up to. Oh, thank you for the resubs, and appreciate it very much. Cheers. I'm also only drinking lemonade tonight because I've got a bit of a dicky tummy, so I'm just kind of being a little bit careful and just not kind of overdoing it. So, and so far it's all right, but yeah, I'm just on lemonade tonight, unfortunately. But I am pretending it's got booze in it. So, all right, let's crack on. Yeah, exactly. Trended. I had a GI thing last night, nearly put me in a. Yeah, I've not had a great 2 days, to be honest. I was contemplating not doing tonight, but I kind of need it. 12 days is all right to take a break, but you get to a point where it's just I was starting to go a little bit insane. Um, so I thought I'd just kind of I thought I'd just kind of suck it up. So it probably won't be any Resident Evil tonight. I'll save that for Thursday, for Saturday. Sorry. Um, Turns out it was an intestinal infection. Needs some antibiotics. Yeah. See, mine is a condition I've had for a while, and it flares up now and again. But it was quite bad this couple of days. So you got Christmas music on. Why's my keyboard's not level? I think I put my desks back wrong. It's not level. Thank you, Kate Apocalypse, for the resub. Appreciate it, and thanks, Nicomo, for extending your sub as well. Appreciate it. Okay, so this is where we got to last time. We were just in the process of building this screen. Oh, we need to turn that off. But basically, this screen is just at the moment just flashes warning and closes the door, and then that's it. And then it locks control of the player and then relinquishes control when the warning sign is gone. So let's start by getting rid of the breakpoint thing in here, and we'll talk a little bit about what I'm going to do here. So I think I discussed this slightly last time about having the Robotron elements be character based mostly. But I'm going to do some small changes to it. I've got an idea for a system which should hopefully help. Thank you, Andy, for the gift sub to Steps, and thank you, Anton, for the gift subs, for the 5 gift subs to Retro Rusty, Mythical Duck, Matt T on Air, Monsters Go Boom, and Niera. Niera, well, there's a lot of E's and R's in that. Niera, I think I'll say Niera. Thank you very much, Anton. Appreciated as ever, and as I say, one day I shall make it up to you in Germany with lots of beer or wine or both. Probably both, plus vodka. Okay, Let me find this break first. It's oh god, where is this actually? Oh, it's gonna be this one, isn't it? There we go. All right. I did consider doing some of my new overlay stuff while I was off, but I just decided not to and just kind of look after myself a little bit. It was pretty good. Thank you, Sean, for the resub as well. Appreciate it, and Zendar as well for the 100 bits, and Anton for another 1,000 bits. You're all crazy. I can drink as much of this as I want. This is lemonade, so I'm not going to get completely wasted from it. And SP as well. Thank you, SP, for the bits. And steps as well. My God, I'll tell you what, though, it's gassy. Cool. Okay. So my idea is to use characters for this. So as we looked at the actual Robotron elements themselves, the enemies themselves, they're exactly 8 by 8 pixels, so they fit exactly into a character. So what I'm intending to do is to move them 4 pixels at a time. So it's going to be less than a character movement. So it will still seem a little bit jerky because it will be moving 4 pixels at a time. But what it means we can do is we can create something that's a bit smoother than 8 pixels at a time. So it will look a little bit better than if we were to just move 8 pixels at a time. But we can retain the animation in just 5 characters. So, 5 characters. So we have the main character, which is the one where it fits in an 8 by 8 block. And then we have one version. Actually, no, it's more than 5, isn't it? It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, 4. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. It's 9 characters. So we'll have one where it's kind of shifted 4 pixels horizontally, one where it's shifted 4 pixels vertically, and one where it's shifted both horizontally and vertically. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a little system. It's going to be a little kind of entity type system, and basically we're going to give it a list of entities. Now we already have an entity system, but we're going to, and we have plenty of versions of this for things like bullets and stuff like this. But we're going to create a special one in the row. We're going to create a little Robotron file, and this is going to be used whenever we have a Robotron screen. And basically, an entity is one enemy, and that enemy is going to have a position on the screen, and that position is going to be in sprite space. Actually, to be precise, it's not going to be quite in sprite space. It's going to be in screen pixel space. So sprite space starts at 0 in the border. Screen pixel space starts at 0, 0 in the top left of the screen, not in the borders. So it's going to be in that space. And then what's going to happen is each entity is going to have a type, so we can have multiple types of these, which will define how it moves and how it looks, and what other abilities it has. I didn't know. Never knew other people were sober when watching streams. Am I doing wrong? Yes. I wish I was drunk, but unfortunately, I don't think I could handle a drink today. Unfortunately. So then, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the list. Each frame, we're going to go through the list, and we're going to work out where these things are on the screen. So the first thing we do is we go through the list and we find everything that's in an exact 8 pixel. Everything that sits on an exact character block. We'll do those first. So say we've got 20 elements in this list and 15 of them sit on these 8 by 8 blocks, then that's what we'll place on the screen first. As we place them, we're going to record the addresses. The addresses are just going to be recorded in memory so that they can be cleared quickly later. I'll explain how we do that. It's going to be very similar to the particle system. Then when we finish, we go through the list a second time. And this time, anything that's not on an 8 by 8, we turn into a sprite and we use that instead. Actually, do we even need that? We might not even need the other versions if we do that. I need to take a look at it. But basically, my idea is to have an entity list and then to process the entity list in stages. Trying to use characters as much as possible and only using sprites when we have no choice but to use a sprite. So it might actually be a couple of passes. It might be like 2 or 3 passes additionally on top of the original one. So the first one will just be to put everything that's in an exact character space on the screen. Then there will be one probably which takes all the ones that are not on 8x8 grid kind of alignment, and work out if they can be placed using characters without overlapping anything. So if there's nothing in the 4 squares that we're going to print to, then draw a character in that block. Otherwise, the last one will display sprites, and there'll be a little flag inside the thing to say whether or not they've been drawn. And what this will do is, and how they've been drawn as well. So if something's been drawn using a single character, it may be 1, have a value of 1. If it's been drawn using one of the other kind of horizontal, vertical, or diagonal directions, it may have 2, 3, and 4. And if it's a sprite, it may be 5. And then there'll be a screen address. Now the screen address will either be the screen address if it's one of the first 4, i.e. it's a character thing, or if it's a sprite, maybe some information that tells us how to clean up the kind of sprite sort of thing. Thank you very much for the resub, Doxter. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's give this a go. Let's start just by putting the very basics in. We don't care how they get there at the moment. There is an animation which kind of spawns the enemies on the screen, but we're not going to do that now. We can do that later. Let's just get them on the screen, get them displaying, and then see how we can kind of refine and kind of build this so that we actually generate a kind of nice, as smooth as possible routine to do this. It could even be actually that we use 2 pixel movements instead, and if something is not on a 4x4 block, then we always use a sprite, and we just make sure that we stagger the updates, so everything starts on an 8x8 block, but then when they update staggered, so you never get more than, say, 8 that are off the kind of grid, if you like. We'll have a think about it as we do it. It's not so, I've kind of got it planned out in my head, sort of, but it's needs to be just kind of done to see what we come up with. So let's start by well, first of all, let's close that down. Let's go and get the game loader and add in a new game load thing in here. So we're going to add actually, how much space have we got? Let's check how much space we've got. Not something I've looked at for a while, so now, bear in mind as well that we can load stuff on the fly from cartridge. We don't have a lot of the code to do that at the moment. We have the basics of it, but it'd be nice to have things like sprite loading running directly from the cart as well for certain screens. There's definitely going to be screens where we need lots and lots of sprites. And because each screen has like a little pause between screen kind of transitions, there's a good space there to kind of do some loading. So let's just have a quick look what the memory map looks like now. Let's find it in here. Okay, so we've got screen macros down here, destroyables, swarm, some stuff that I should probably turn off. It looks like some comments somewhere. And the game loop starts here, and there's some stuff down in the lower end. Now, music fits in here, and music is quite big. In this case, it's about 8K, which is pretty big for a game tune. We've also got some map tables. There we go. I was trying to remember, actually. In fact, let me try and loading up the debugger, see if I can see. I was trying to remember where the God, okay. Yeah, that'll help, I guess. I was trying to remember where exactly the map data is stored, because I know we've got map data at 8,000, but I was just, this sort of stuff here, 7800 to 800. This is what I was worried about, that we do have some stuff around there, so just have to be careful that those map things aren't kind of overwritten if we go any further than that. So we've got stuff 8C100. This is mostly code up here, so yeah, this is all code. Then we've got some blank here, but then it looks like we do have some stuff at 7,000, but I'm not sure what it is. It doesn't look like it's an awful lot, and the majority of the stuff is at 8,000. So I'm just wondering if there's anything at 7,000. So let's just Just want to keep an eye on this. So this block here, from the blue line down to this green line here, I just want to keep an eye on that as I change screens. So if I see stuff going on in there as I change screens, then I know it's been used. It's been a while, so I don't really remember what's being used there. Oh damn it! Let's see if I can get out without dying. I don't want to go in the other room because the other room is gonna lock me in until we have a completion. So okay. Okay, yeah. So there is a little bit of reading going on in here, and this is in the middle of 7,000. So I think once we get to 7,000, we can't use any more of that. And I think that's because what happens in the map loader. Yeah, see, we have font maps at this position here. So basically, there's a huge chunk that we can't use there as well. And I believe all the. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Is the. Let me just load up again. Oh, new background series discovered. Oh no, new background discovered. Okay. Oh, you working? Are you working on those massive things? Yeah. Can't exactly watch while driving. Yeah. No, no. Please don't. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Okay. So what I just want to check is what is actually stored at 8,000. I have a funny feeling. I mean, obviously we have map data stored here, which is this bit here. But I'm just wondering if there's anything we can use here as well. Title screen code. Okay, well, we don't need that. We know that's going to be dropped out. I'm just trying to work out where to put stuff because we are running out quite quickly of room. And I want to make sure that we load in the right code dynamically and keep as much kind of static as possible. But it's just working out what should be static. So what is at 8,000 at that point? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at memory in that location. So okay, so it doesn't look like an awful lot. Oh wait, is this the screen? No, it's not, is it? Hang on. Ah, okay. So map tables are here. So this is where all the map data is. So basically, individual screens have data that lives at 8,000 onwards. Now, the reason why that's okay is because the maps themselves are banked in at 8,000. They're loaded, which means none of this code will be running while the screen itself is being loaded. Then as soon as the screen is loaded, it switches over to this. And then we have 8,000 all the way up to C,000. So we have quite a lot. We have about 16K to fit all this in. And you'll see in here, indeed, the majority of that is kind of blank. And then the screen starts around this location, or just before it, actually. It looks like there's something just before the screen data. But basically, anything up in this area we can't touch. This is all out of bounds for us. This is going to be all our sprites, all our Vic stuff. So we can't touch any of that. So that means we can probably stick stuff towards the end of this screen area, RAM, if we need to. And that indeed looks like what we've been doing here. So let's just have a look through and see if we can figure out exactly what's going on. Okay, so we're loading music into this location here, 1000 as we would expect. We have some low memory stuff down here. I don't see where the high memory stuff is being loaded, but it definitely is being loaded because I can see it right here. It looks like BF000. So yeah, it looks like BF00. Okay, let's see if we can find that in here. Oh, maps loader. Okay. So the map loader puts them right at the end of memory here. So basically, we can import some more stuff into here. Now, there is going to be a lot of code for different screens, but I don't think it will reach 16K. 16K is quite a lot. We've used about we've used close to 16K to do all the code so far, with the exception of the screen stuff. So all of this stuff. So all the collision, game loops, power-ups, passable areas, all that, multiplexer, laser, swarm, all that lives in that location. So I think we're probably fine to use a little bit of that end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just nudge this down and see if it still works. Hopefully it should just still work. And if that's the case, we can start using that area of memory up there to use. So we get an extra 4K up there, which we can put some stuff in should we run out. Excellent driving system. Oh no, no, don't do that. Davy Jones, why do you torture yourself? Why do I torture myself? Do you mean me or somebody else here? I'm not sure you mean. Did I move? No, I haven't moved yet. No, I'm going to be moving in January, towards the end of January. I think is probably when I'm going to move. Hopefully to a much bigger place. I've already got it all planned out how my new gaming room is going to look in my head. I just need to get things together. I had my massive. So I've got a Thermaltake Tower 900 case. It's a huge monster of a case, and I had that set up. So I just checked this works. Yeah, everything's working. Cool. That means the screen pointers are working. So I had everything set up in my front room where my friend came down, and I had 2 desks either side of my tower, and it made like a perfect dual desk with a pedestal in the middle, which was my computer, and it looked really nice. So I'm going to go for that style, I think, because it just looks so much better the way I had it set up. So full of admiration, too hard for me writing assembly. 6502 is easy though. 6502 you can pick up in a couple of sessions of just the basics, and then you can do it. The hardest thing is not learning the assembly; it's learning the machine. That's always the case up until about I don't know. I'd probably say once it got to like PlayStation era and stuff, then it was just easier to use C. I think because the assembly would have been quite difficult to handwrite that to do all the stuff, because you get to a point where the machine gets so complex that doing it all in assembly is quite difficult. In fact, Mega 65 is kind of getting that way with the DMA stuff, but it's good practice. So. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to create another game code section in here where we'll put stuff. For now, though, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to use this as our marker. Now, I believe there is... I should probably be that, shouldn't it, if it's more than or equal to... oh, no, actually, more than, it's fine, yeah, because it would be at that point. Okay, so I just need to check 7400. Was that the true start? I think it was. Yeah, and this is where all the stuff starts. I don't think there's any problem with this being like this in the middle here. I don't know why that's like that actually, but let me just check when I move screens that doesn't get written to. No, it doesn't. All right. So the end is 7400 here, and then a new game code will start at B00. So let me just put that in for now. I'll put the basics in, and then it's ready to go then. So we'll call this game code 2, or we'll call it game code high. Sorry, I realise this is not getting on with the Robotron stuff, but it is essential. This has been needed for a little while, so good to get it in now while I'm thinking about it. Also helps to document a little bit. Have I got one of those windows open? I have, haven't I? Here. So this starts at B000 and ends at C00. And this is game code high. This is game code, and let's put an underscore there like that. There we go. Cool. So the only thing we need to do in that case is we need to, in our cart section in here, we need to make sure that we add that in as well. Load add file, game code high, and it's game code high like that. Good high. Cool. So that gives us another 4K that we've got there, and we've got about 2K left. So we've got about 6K total to kind of mess around with code, and then we have to start dynamically switching things in. So I wrote a little on C61 was about 10, not like this. Yeah. Milford Series 10 was also Milford looked really good actually. TRSE looks good as well. I would like to spend a bit more time doing those things, but I just haven't had time really. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and add the actual code that we want in here. So we're going to create a new file. I'll leave that in there. Don't know why that is. Oh, that's weapon chars. Okay, that's fine. I don't know why that's there. It just gets copied, I guess. And this one is going to be called Robotron code. And we'll just call this Robotron. I am going to put this into... I'm just going to put it into game for now. New file, Robotron. Okay, let me just check. So using capitals. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're going to have a data structure as we always do in these things. We're going to have an initialization call in here. We're going to have an update call. These are the things we have in pretty much everything. If we go and take a look at the game loop, which is in here, or which also needs to, well, actually, it doesn't need to load the game. Actually, it doesn't load the game code high, does it? The game code, it just loads game code low. Oh, I guess because it includes the game. Hang on, I need to check that. Boot. Title screen. Oh, and then the title screen is going to load game loader, which has all of this in, which includes game loops. So it's going to go to and jump. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So we would import it in that screen if we need it, but we don't right now. But what I wanted to check is just what the updates are called. So we've got init and we've got update as well. And it's probably going to be a clear, but we'll do the clear and stuff in the update. I think it should all be in there. Channel 50, where you import it, I think you are looking in maps folder instead of game. Good night, Sean. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, yeah, I see. Thank you very much. I'll give you 5 points for that. That's a definite 5. Thank you very much for that. Why don't I see you on this list? There you are. It's a 5-point earner, that. Okay. Yes, that should be game. Thank you very much. Good night, Susman. Thanks for joining. Somebody's found the list of all the items that are. Oh, is that? Oh, wait. That. Oh no, you found it. Yeah. Why didn't it show up as a? I think you'd already found that one before, actually. Okay, so game Robotron. All right. So then in here, we need to set some things up. So what do we need? We need, well, first of all, we need max value in here. Let me just check how I've done it with. Let's take a look at explosions. Okay, so I use a constants file for that. Let me open up a second view. Layout 2 columns, constants. It should be down here. Okay, so items, power up, screen edges. Let's make a section specifically for Robotron. Let's make it 32 for now. Well, actually, let's make it 6. Let's keep it at 32 because we will need to see how this works. Now, we want to try and keep this data structure as neat as possible, easy to access. So, for instance, one of the tricks that's been mentioned a few times before is when you're just storing lots of small values, is to compress them all into single bytes. So say you've got a value from 0 to 15, it's using nibbles, so you get two values in a byte. But then it gets a little bit harder to read them out as well, and speed is going to be very important for this. So, yeah. So the assembler is quite powerful. So it has a lot of macro stuff that allows you to generate bytes and stuff. So, for instance, let's look at some example code. So yeah, this is the assembler that you're used to seeing. But you can see here I've created them as macros, so then I can type this anywhere, and it will insert this block of assembly. So it's very easy to kind of raise the level, if you like, of the code, like this. So okay, data. So what do we need? What do we need? Right. Okay. So we need a type. We need to know what type of enemy this is. Fill that with zeros. Actually, let me just look at the capitalization on this. Okay, lowercase, that's fine. We need X position. And we need a Y position. Now, these are going to be in sprite space. Or should they be in char space, actually? No, these will be char space, I think. And then what I'll have is fine X and fine Y. Now, the reason I'm going to do that is it's going to be very easy for me to do bounds checking using characters positions. I don't have to worry about the MSB, and I can do all the other kind of lookups just using a table, using a screen table. And then all I have to do is use the MSB if I turn something into a sprite. And turning something into a sprite is a last resort. It's not going to be the not. It's going to be the last resort. If we can't make one of these characters fit in any other way, then we're going to use sprites for it. So we're going to need fine X and fine Y, because we're going to have a char X position, which is going to be the grid position that it's if you turn it in, if you truncate any fractional movement, that's going to be the grid position that it's in. And then we're going to have a fine X and a fine Y, which is going to be 8 pixels either way. Actually, I may combine these into one. It depends how fast. What can you count to on your fingers? Who's this? You can count to. Wait, hang on. 255. Yeah, you can count to 1023 on your fingers. It's 1024. You can't. You could technically do more actually as well. So if you lift your hands up and down as well, or something like that, you can use loads. You can get quite big. Oh yeah, finger segments as well. I've heard of that as well, like fully down and half up as well. Yeah, you can do a lot. Okay, so we've got character X and Y, we've got fine X and Y. These could be combined, but for now we'll leave them uncombined. Actually, can we combine chart X? If X goes up to 40, that means it's going to be using... No, not quite, because it uses 6 bits, doesn't it, to do that? 6 bits will give us a value up to 63. So we can't use the fine X and Y. But the idea of being here is if these values are 0, it's going to be very easy to check if these are 0. Then we just draw at the char X and Y. Likewise, if we combine the fine X and the fine Y, so we just call it fine XY, like that. In fact, let's try it this way first. If we call it fine XY, then basically, if we use the upper nibble for X and the lower nibble for Y, oh, thank you for the follow, Manas. I didn't see that. Thank you. Like you got toes and knees, yeah. You can just imagine, can't you? I'm trying to count to 1,000,000, and you're just like you're in this contorted position as you move your arms and legs around to try and represent certain binary digits. Asengard as well. Thank you, Nicola. You hammer the finger with the pinky going up too. Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? Oh my god! Ow! You can count to trillions or quadrillions, I guess. Yeah, I mean it'd take you some time. I wonder how long it would take you. Like if you counted 2 numbers or 1 number a second, because once you get high enough, it's going to be slow. So let's imagine you counted 1 number a second. Then how long? How far would you get in like a say you could start the day you were born until you were 70 years old? How far would you get? I bet it wouldn't be in the trillions. I bet it wouldn't be in the trillions. In fact, I'm going to bring a calculator up and do that quickly because. So 1 number a second, so 60 a second, 60 a minute, 24 hours. So that's how much you do in a day. Times that by 365 and a quarter because it's a cancel leap years. So you would do 30. Oh, you do 31 million a year. Okay. So, but you would still only get to 2.2 billion. That's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. So, hopefully, someone will put you out of your misery. Yeah, if you manage to get to 70 without killing yourself, yeah. Okay, right, so we'll combine the fine X and Y. Now, the reason I'm going to combine them is because it makes it really easy for testing then. If the character is on a grid space, then that value will be 0 because we've not moved in the X and we've not moved in the Y. So it's just a very quick branch if equal. Very, very quick and easy to do. If we want to move a character in the fine X and Y, then we just either have to add to the lower nibble or to the upper nibble. And that's really easy. All we have to do is think, well, actually, how would we do that without affecting? We'd have to check for the loop around. That's fine. I think the adding and subtracting is going to be the easy bit. It's the testing that's going to be the slow bit. So the quicker we can do the testing, that's the better. I've lost count. I was at 16.7 or 16.8 million. Oh man, it's crazy, and to think this is probably a good way to demonstrate the kind of speed of computers. And just say, look, if you counted 1 number per second from the day you were born till the day you were 70, it would take you'd get to 2.2 billion. A computer can do that in milliseconds. A computer could register every number between 1 and 2.2 billion in milliseconds, microseconds in some cases. And that's, I mean, I think most people understand that computers are fast and we're slow, but some people might not. Good way to explain to children, I guess. Okay, so we've got to find X, we've got to find Y, we've got to type. Okay, so next we need to load the characters in. So let's put a list of what we need to do. So on initialization, we need to load characters into font. Determine chart indices and store. So we're going to need some character indices. So what we're going to need is let's just call these all char. We're going to char 1x1. and these are going to be bytes. And then what these are going to do is, as we load a character set in, we're going to work out where we've loaded it to, work out what the character index is for that, and then we can store them in this list. So for now, we're just going to use one by one. But let's put the other ones in as well. So we've got 2 by 1, 1 by 2, and 2 by 2. So these are the 4 different kind of layouts that we're going to use. They will kind of be in, they will go in order. So this will be the first one in the block. So reading from top left to bottom right, left to right, top to bottom. So in this case, it will be whatever this byte is. In this case, it will be whatever this byte is. And then to the right of it, this byte plus 1, and so on and so on. Hopefully this should be pretty easy to do. So we'll do that. Load the characters in front, and then reset all entity types. We'll use the entity type to determine whether it's available or not. 0 equals 0 equals inactive. Okay. So we're going to load the characters in. We're going to determine where the character indices are. We're going to reset all the entity types to 0, and then we're good to go on the Robotron. Then on an update, what do we need to do? We need to go through loop through entities. And this is pass 1 because we're going to do this multiple times. There's going to be multiple updates here. Oh, we need to clear entities as well. So clear entities before we go through the main loop. We're going to do the clear entities. So if there's any been drawn to the screen, we need to clear them. So that's the next thing that we need to do here. We need a screen low and a screen high. So this is going to be used to store the actual screen location if the sprite, if the entity has been drawn with a screen characters. Will the robots just fly towards the player in a straight line? I need to check the video exactly. I'm not going to do the behaviors yet today, but probably won't have time. But I think they kind of advance slowly on the player, so they will tend to group up at a time. But it may be that we can kind of have some sort of simple, very, very simple collision in that an enemy doesn't advance if the next grid square is occupied, sort of thing, and that might actually be enough to make this very, very simple indeed. So we need to clear the entities, then we need to loop through the entities, and then the first pass through the loop is basically just going to fill all of these. So we're going to check find XY first. So we need actually in here we need an add. So let's think about the add first before we do the update. So if we need to add something, what do we need to do? So we need a next in here. So get the next index, and then finally we'll increment next index. I'm writing it out all like this because I need to get my brain to kind of get back into the code, and I haven't done any coding for 2 weeks, so I'm good to do it like this, I think. Okay, so once we've got the next index, what do we need to do? We need to determine where that goes on screen. So what we'll do is we'll use. Okay, so add will pass in accumulator equals the type, x equals char x, y equals char y. So these are the parameters that we're passing in. So we say I want to add this type at this position, and then it's down to this to kind of figure everything else out. So that's good. Get the next index, add a type, char and char x and char y. Near screen high. So we're going to clear, as we add it, we're also going to clear this value here and make sure this value is 0, because when this routine goes through and clears, which I've not done a clear routine yet, but that will be here basically. What that will do is it will check the screen high. If the screen high is 0, it means it's not been drawn on the screen. So it doesn't do anything. It will skip past that one. If the screen high has a value in it, then it means it's an actual physical screen address, and therefore it will clear. So let's go through this and write this out as well. Loop through entities. Okay. If screen is 0, has not drawn to screen. Also, if type equals 0, entity is inactive, so skip. Let's just do it like that, and then it's obvious what I'm thinking about. Okay. Otherwise, what do I need to do? I need to okay, so based on the fine X and fine Y, I will decide how many characters I need to draw. So there will be this will basically be that should be it. That should be all it needs to do. And because those screen addresses are already here, that this is really quite simple. This will probably be a lookup into a table based on this value, so fine X and Y. So actually, let's write what these fine X and Y values do. Let's do it on the line underneath. So fine X, Y. So fine X, Y of... Oh, hang on. Oh, it's not going to be like, it's not going to be that simple, is it? Okay, we'll come back to that. All right, that's fine. Come back to that. What I just need to do right now is get them kind of displayed on the screen. So I'm gonna have to go to the toilet though. Actually, give me 2 minutes, guys. I just need to quickly nip to the toilet. Let me stick the break on for you, and I should be back in a few minutes. Be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. Let me stop the race. There we go. Gilbert glass blowing set. Gilbert, was that remember Gilbert the alien on an old Saturday morning or Sunday morning show? My God, what was that thing? I can't remember what it was called. It had Gilbert the alien was in it. Showing my age a bit there, I think. It's not really showing my age to you lot though, because you're all about the same age or older in a lot of cases. So. Okay, why is that? That's better. Yeah, I had insert turned off. It's not my cursor look weird. All right, let's start by doing the initialization. So first of all, we're going to store these values somewhere. So we need to get an index, and then we need to store them. So we're going to have to do a bit of self mod to basically keep these. So I'm going to grab the index here, and that's going to be data.next. So X is the index. We'll return the new index as well. So we'll compare that to max. Turn the right keyboard on. Max Robotron entities. Let's just indent everything by 1. Actually, let's just indent the code and then it's... Oh my god, what am I doing? Okay, there we go. Okay, so that means that when we call this routine, we'll get an X index return. So if we do want to update anything else, we can do that straight away. He was a Brummie. Yes, he was a Brummie, wasn't he? I remember now. Get fresh, that's it. This is him. Gilbert the alien. Oh my god, yeah. How old is that? 1980s. Must have been early 80s, I guess. Okay, so we need to store this X somewhere, so we'll store that in restx because that's going to be somewhere in here. So we can store the accumulator in data.type, X. And then we're going to load the accumulator with restx and store that at data.charx, all lowercase, X. We can't do a store y, X, we have to transfer it to the accumulator and then do this. Okay, cool. So we've stored all our data now. And then we need to clear the screen high. So we're just going to take the value 0 and we're going to store that at data. And that's the add section done. So that's all we need to do to add something to the screen. So that shouldn't need changing. That's, just let me double check everything. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, cool. Right. By the way, really bad joke I read today. Kill 15 in World War II. Grandson, I thought you were a plane engineer. Grandfather, yeah. Oh god. That's kind of, yeah, that is bad. What do you call a cow with no legs? That's actually not bad. That's not bad for Shimmerbot. That's not bad. When Shimmerbot is more funny, it's a bad joke, yeah. If you tell a bad joke, it's always a good idea to get Shimmerbot to tell a joke straight afterwards, and hopefully it will make yours look better. So, okay, cool. Right, let's do the character loading. So first of all, we need to check the character set for this. That's the sprites. And we need to see if this is loaded in anywhere. Now, it's probably not loaded in directly. So what I'm going to do is put it into this section here, I think. We've also got weapons. I'm going to move the weapon chars down to there because it makes sense to put these all in the low area down here. So I'm going to call this Robotron chars, and I'm going to import a binary for this as well. Now, hopefully this is actually already in the folder, so... I don't know why I've got one called 16-bit, but I have, and it's kind of annoying. I'm not even sure why it's... Oh, I think it's because of the... It's because of the way the characters were kind of stored in the map, but it's... Probably needs renaming that folder, but it's fine for now. Just do it like that. Okay, so Robotron Trials are going to be down there. I'm going to load them into here so I can actually look at them and see what we've got. Okay, so yeah, we've got... Actually, we've got 1 by 2 and then 2 by 1. So just going to switch that around in here so it makes more sense when I'm looking at it, and anything that There we go. Just so that when I'm kind of working through it, I can just treat everything in the same order. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to find the right screen. I can never find the right one. There we go. We need to know where the end of the screen is. And in this case, it's going to be after the door data here. So I think what we need to do is we need to go and have a look at the door stuff. And basically, because at the moment what's happening is this character here, this is the first door character. This is the index that is actually stored. But what we need to do is we also need to know if there's any doors on this screen. And if there are doors on this screen, then we need to add this number of characters to that value. So I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where this value is written, this map loader index value. So I'm going to open that up. I'm going to open up the doors one as well. And look where the doors is initialized. Copy door chart. So here's where we do the door chart. And you can see we've got this font index here. Font fetch, font vec, font index. Okay, and then the font index is probably going to be... So I need to figure out where that is, and I need to have a look at what that value is, because that's what we're going to have to make sure that we use. But what we kind of need to do is we need to make sure that if we increment this value here when we add the doors, that this font index is also incremented properly as well. Because at the moment what's happening is these doors are added on, but then when you exit the screen, the new data is drawn from this point, not from this point, because this is stuff that can be removed, basically, which is why the doors will disappear when you switch between screens. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find where that map loader index is written. It's very inconsistent with the way that these things are drawn, but that sounds like Martin Walker. It's not, though, is it? Sounds like his music now. Okay, so we've got this font index, which I believe is the one that we're trying to use. It's in here. If we look in here, it's called... Yeah, it's called font index. Okay, so whenever we write to font index, we're also going to have... I'm going to call it a local font index. So what do I mean by local font index? I mean that this is the font index as things are added to this screen on top of the... Oops, lost my headphone. On top of the base characters for that screen as well, so... I think if I was called up to serve in a war, I'd either work in bomb diffuser or as a medical person. Yeah, I don't think there's much call for 6502 assembly in the army, so I'd try my best to get into coding somehow, but I don't think it's going to be 6502, so I probably won't enjoy it. Cybersecurity, I guess, would be pretty useful. Anything that keeps me kind of off the front lines, basically. Oh, if I still got my work thing open, let me shut that down and kind of that open. Now cyber stuff. Totally, military use old save chips. Yeah, probably not through choice though. That's Captain Darlington. I love that in Blackadder. Every time his name is mentioned, it's just hilarious. It's because of the way Stephen Fry says it, or Rowan Atkinson, the way they both say it. Actually, it's kind of funny. It's slightly condescending. Simply said bugger. Okay, so local font index is what we're going to update. So that means anytime we store this value, we also need to store it here in the map loader. So let's go and find store font index. There we go. And we just need to duplicate that and make sure it's stored in local font index as well. That should be the only place that that's stored, but let's... oh, no, there is one. Oh, because we need to wrap it round as well. Okay. So we can actually call this or something similar to this. Actually, we already have this in the door code, so maybe this should be extracted a little bit as well. Yeah, so we've got this wrap here, which is actually well, not quite, because it's only storing in the door font index, but that's fine. But what that means is now that we've got that set up in here, and there shouldn't be any more in here, it should just be those two. Yep. We also need to store, whenever we do the doors, and we store in where is it? Whenever we do this, store door font index, we also need to do that. And that would be map loader dot. There should only be 2 or 3 in here as well. There's one there. Yeah, that's it. So we don't need it on the first one because that value is already the same. Actually, I'm going to grab local just in case the doors are initialized in a different order. So we're going to grab that value, store it here, and then whenever we increment that, we're also going to increment the local font index. So the reason for doing this, it means that now when we advance through the characters here and we go to draw the Robotron stuff, we know that the Robotron stuff is going to fit nice and neatly into this section here. So let's go ahead and turn that into door font index, door font fetch. Is there a method for grabbing that fetch value? There isn't, is there? Font pointer. Oh, hang on, we've got font pointer as well. All right, so okay. So just trying to work out the simplest way of doing this. If the font vec is font fetch and font vec, yeah, okay. So we need to do it for them as well. So let's take a look up here. Font pointer. So we need a local font pointer as well. As I say, this is just making sure that we've got one font pointer which points to the screen data and only the screen data, and then a local font pointer which also includes anything extra that we've loaded in. But it does mean we need to update both of those whenever we do an update. So let's just check through here. So this is just loading the font pointer in. That's fine. Okay, so here's our stores. So we'll just store local font pointer, local font pointer like that. And this is the reset. Okay, cool. Right. So that means in here, when we do the door font fetch, so door font fetch is where we're grabbing the characters from. So this is being grabbed from the door character kind of file. So in this case, we've got the Robotron file, but this would be the door data, and door font vec is the one that we're interested in. As you can see here, that's the one that we've actually loaded from the font pointer. Again, I'm going to use local font pointer here because that will make sure that we can initialize the door and anything else in different order if we need to. It also means we can quickly test to make sure this is working by just loading the game, making sure some things like doors and stuff work. So local font pointer. Okay, so that goes in font vec. So anytime font vec changes, we need to make sure that that gets updated. So advanced font pointer in 0 page by A. Okay, so oops. So this will be map loader local font. Let's put 0. There we go. So font fetch. Oh no, that's font fetch. We don't want that one. Okay, we want font vec. Okay, which is here. And this is the reset here when it wraps around. Cool. So what that means now is whenever we load, in fact, let's just give this a quick load. Whenever we load into a screen, we've got 2 pointers being recorded. One is the end of the screen data. One is the end of everything else that's added after the screen data. And that should wrap around. Why is that not loading? Got some kind of weird issue here. Okay. Unknown symbol weapon chars. All right, so I have just moved some stuff from power. Okay, right. I'm going to put that back then because it's only a small amount of bytes. Let's not rock the boat right now. We can always move these around if we need to later on. Oops. The right window. There we go. No, it didn't load though, did it? Where are you not? Max Robotron entries, unknown symbol, because I didn't save that. So this isn't going to introduce any functionality, but I just want to make sure that the doors still work. If the doors still work, great. We're on a roll. So all I need to do really here is check this room here. And the door does indeed work, which is good. Okay. Cool. So that's now set up so that we can start adding stuff in here as well. So we're going to do something similar to how we've just done it. How it was done in the doors. We're going to basically copy door chars, but this time we're going to copy. Let's copy this whole function. Actually, we could probably refactor this to copy anything to anything. Let's take a look at it because maybe we can. Let's move it into Robotron. Then as I'm going through it, we can see if there is an easy way to make this copy anything to anything. So no, well, we do have this door char counter, which is kind of not ideal. And let's bring the 0 page stuff up here. It's probably not going to be honest, the number of bytes there isn't too bad. So okay, so let's call this copy chars, and let's jump to that straight away. Okay. So what does it need to do? It needs to copy to local font pointer to I'm going to call this Robotron font vet. Yeah, so you could theoretically set this up differently, but I think this is fine like this. I think we'll get away with this. It's not going to be too heavy. I don't think there's a lot of code here. So we can actually reuse these because these are just used for fetching and drawing to the screen. So we're just going to reuse these basically. Actually, that one there. So we get a fetch and a vector and then a screen temp vector as well. The vec is the kind of output vector, if you like. My screen at the top seems really dark. It's difficult to read, annoyingly. But whatever. It's a job for another day. Okay, I'm going to comment stuff out that I don't think we need. I'm going to get rid of stuff that shouldn't be there at all. And then we'll come back if we do need these. Okay, door font index. Okay, so we do need to store door font index. Okay, what's using that then? So I don't think we can reuse this. I think this is something that has to be. So let's not do loads. Let's just do door font index. I just want to see where this is being used because I have a funny feeling. Copy door charts. Oh, it's only used in there then. Let's check it's not used outside of that file as well. Oh, okay. In that case, let's try it. If we do get weirdities, we can make it its own variable. But I think it's fine to share this one. Again, I think it's just for setup, and we will be storing those values here anyway. Okay, so copy chars. Good night, Sender. Take care. Thanks for joining. Okay, copy 8 bytes from. Oh, it was in the lower area. So I'm going to move these ones into the lower area. I'm going to leave the weapon ones where they are, but I'm going to move these ones down. Oh no, it's not. Wait, doors. Is it indoors? Oh, it's actually in the file. Ah, let's do it like that. That's better, actually. Let's keep it in the file. It doesn't need to be separate, so let's just put it in here. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Keep it all together, I guess. Okay, so copy 8 bytes from Robotron Trials to the vector. Okay, so we basically. Why is it? My mouse is not working. Something is weird. I spilled some on it over the weekend. And double click seems off for some reason. Oh no, it's a brand new mouse. So I have to get a new mouse. Well, not brand new, but it's maybe a month or 2 old, 2 months old. New enough. Okay. Copy chars. So we don't care about this. This is just restoring the Y because obviously there was something in the doors which restored it. So we don't need that. Let's get rid of that completely. And then that's less confusing. All right. Okay. So now we've copied everything here. What do we need to do? Okay. So we need to. Oh, we're counting how many chars. Okay. Okay. Let's. Means we can use that as well. That's good. I'm going to do this a slightly different way, though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the value. Oh, wait, hang on. How do I. And then the loop comes back to here. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to load Y with the number of characters we need to copy, which is 9, and store that here. Oh, actually, it needs to count forwards, and that's because we're actually using it to put into this list here. So I am going to just store them directly into this list as they are. I was going to just do it one character in here, but we may as well store the whole thing. Why not? It's only a few extra bytes. Like Charles, there we go. Okay, so that would be chars like that. And this would be Robotron font index and Robotron char counter. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're taking the current font index. So this is the one we've just copied. This one here. We're taking the index. In other words, how many characters we've copied from the set. This is the first one, so it will be 0. And we're storing that character into this area here. This will give us a list of the actual character numbers that make up these characters. Okay, cool. Advance the font pointer. Okay, so this is where we do the font pointer increment. So this will be Robotron font fetch. And this will be Robotron font index. And again, we store in the local font index. We have to store it in the local font index because if we want to do the doors after this instead of before it, then that's important. Same with the Robotron font vet as well. So the output location that needs a colon on the end there as well. Thank you very much, Tron, for the resub. Appreciate it, my man. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching and all that. It's all very much appreciated. And this all helps towards the PS5 giveaway. I'm looking forward to doing that. I really hope I can get hold of one in time. Should be able to, I think. Okay, the number of base jars. So this is the number of characters at the beginning of our font. So that's these characters here. These are the characters that are used all the time in our character set and never change. So when we wrap around from the end here, we don't wrap around to here. We wrap around to like here somewhere. And that's what this is here. And that should be stored at Robotron font index. And also at the local font index, that's correct. And then the Robotron font vec here and Robotron vec here, also stored in the local pointer. And then we need to increment our Robotron char character. And then we need to compare that to 09. If it's not equal, we need to loop. Cool. So this should copy all our characters in. So we can test this very easily, right? So if we just initialize a Robotron screen in our screen, I forgot what the screen number is now. I think it was 20, wasn't it? Let's check. Where is it now? Asset? No, that's not it, is it? Maps. Here we go. Screens. Screen. I think it's 20. Yeah, because this is the warning sign. This is the initialization. So we're setting the door up, initializing the warning. So before any of that, we're going to do. And all that's going to do is it's just going to initialize the Robotron thing. Now, actually, we have. I'm going to try it here, and then I'm going to try after here as well, because that will test the local thing to make sure that we can do them in any order. So it was a good idea to do that because I believe this macro actually adds the door in. We don't have to initialize the door; it's kind of handled by the macro. But with the Robotron thing, we're going to do it kind of manually rather than through macros. So okay, so this should be enough in theory that when we enter that screen. I need to build it there, and then I need to kind of reopen this. We should see that font update. Of course, it's not going to show properly now, is it? Because we're in this stupid mode. And did that? Oh no, it didn't compile. All right, Robotron. Robotron font. Oh, I didn't save it. There we go. Just make sure it works again. Hopefully nothing should break when we go in here. Everything, and it does. It breaks. Okay. So let's take a quick look at what we've done wrong. That would be probably a big part of it. No, still got a crash. Okay, so let's have a work through this. So where would the crash be? So it could be these values that are wrong. We'll take a look at that in a second. It could be these shared values in here as well. So I might try and move some of them out in a minute if it's still causing a problem. Let me just try switching the order of initialization round. So we'll do it after any doors that have been added. That light is really bright. So accentuates my beard nicely. Okay, so the order of initialization did matter here. And I think that's probably because one of these values is being used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this back at the beginning again, up here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out. So I don't think it's these two. I think they're fine. I think it's probably this one or this one. I'm going to try this one first. I think this might be the one. We set these values at the beginning. Which values? I'm not sure which values you mean. Let me know. I'll take a look. Try that one as well. Oh, the shared, yeah. I think it might be that some of them are being used by the doors afterwards, so I might not be able to share them. It's fine if I can't. I'm absolutely fine if I can't. All right, let me just try putting separate values on them all. If this doesn't work, then I know it's not that. So they were already being shared. Let's just keep these together for a second. I don't want to be in a situation where it matters which order things are called in. I know that is the case in quite a lot of the things already, but I want to try and avoid it where it's easy enough to avoid it. And it certainly should be easy enough here. Okay. So I don't think it's to do with that shared stuff. Let's go and have a quick look through the Robotron section, make sure I'm not using any door stuff in here. Or I'm writing anything incorrect. So the copy chart. So we take the local font pointer, store it here. The local font pointer, store it here. Let's put a break in here and have a look what's going on. So we're doing this first, right? And it works if we do it second. Actually, let's not put the break in yet. Let's have a think. It works if we do it second. So why would it work if we do it second? That means that these have been initialized. Let me just undo some of these because I don't think it's these. So I'm just going to put those back. I can always change them if I need to. Okay. So it takes the char counter, yeah. And then the fetch adds here, and the vec adds here, and these are all 0001111. That's correct. And the wrap is here, so... But it shouldn't be wrapping at this point, so I don't think it's that. Or should it be wrapping, actually? No, it shouldn't be wrapping. Well, actually, what we can do is we can put a little breakpoint before this loop. In fact, let's just do an RTS on this loop. Let's see if the loop is failing because of the number of runs it's doing. Because if it works on one, then it could be something else. Crack out music is so recognizable. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, so just copying the one works. It seems to me when it's trying to copy multiples. So let's stick a breakpoint in there. Let's compile it. I'm not sure if the breakpoints will work in. I think they do actually work now. We'll see anyway. If not, I can always figure out where it is and add it. Okay. Something weird going on there. Oh, because I did break wrong. Hey, well, I noticed you were doing some TRC stuff for VZ200 as well, which looked kind of interesting. And that was kind of my aim with the with both Milfork and TRSE was to get the the Milfork community and the TRSE community to just kind of get a bit more, tiny bit more visibility from a few people, you know, interested in retro stuff, and to kind of give the developers of those things some people to help out. And you've done exactly kind of that. You've gone, there's another system here. You've managed to implement it. It's cool. I like it. That's what we need, is more tools to do these things. Right, let's open this up in the debugger. I don't know if I'm going to get a breakpoint here or not. We shall see. Okay. Okay, I don't get a breakpoint, but I do get CPU jam. And it's showing at 3042. It looks like something's being written here that shouldn't be being written. So I'm going to, because that's right at the beginning of the code. This is like, oh no, maybe not actually. It's just jumped there, hasn't it? Okay, it's just jumped there. Interesting. Okay, why was it jumped there though? That's the thing. It's got to be this right that's happening. In fact, what we can do a little check to see if it is that by turning off this right here. Just get rid of the break for a second. He said fools, not tool. Yeah, definitely. If you yeah, because it said 80, right? So yeah, definitely. And the thing is this is the sort of tool, the TRSE is a sort of tool, the same with Milfork as well, that's kind of perfect for this cross-platform stuff, isn't it? So you write something that's fairly generic in terms of kind of its feature set, and then you port it to different systems, maybe adding a few flourishes in here and there. But yeah, Game Boy is a lot of fun. I've got to say, as much as I hated Z80 or the Game Boy version of it, the actual hardware itself is a lot of fun to mess with. It makes a lot of sense to me. It works kind of similar to the C64 in a few ways. A few ways is very different, like not being able to draw anything to the screen while the screen's being drawn. So you have to do everything in the borders. But it's easy enough to do. You've got DMA to kind of to do that stuff into OAM sprite RAM. So yeah, you can do some cool stuff. I've been unstuck again. What have you done? What you stuck on? Well, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't know even know where to begin with TRSE, to be honest. So, okay, so it wasn't that. That's not doing anything. Let's just double check everything through here because I've just copy pasted it. So, okay, so we've got a font fetch and a font vet, and they look to be loaded correctly. We've got our local font index, which is being stored here. Oh, are we storing the local font index back? I don't think we are we? We definitely should be doing that. Oh yeah, we are. There we go. Oh no, we're not. We're storing it, but we're not storing it back in this one here. That definitely needs to be stored there as well. Oh no, we are. There we go. Local font pointer. I'm not entirely sure where that might be breaking. So let's go back to here again. Then what would it do? It's loading a new character in from memory, storing it. Okay, let's check the values that we've got in this location before we do anything. So let's just put a breakpoint in here and just have a look at what's being done at this point. Time to start kind of digging down into this a little bit. It's a bit annoying that we can do it. We can do it if we do it after the doors. I'm just trying to think what might affect the doors by doing it first. And I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you at all. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at this. So C3 and C5. So let's have a look. So we're taking from 6EC1, which is going to be our local address in our code for the characters, and we're drawing to CA-C8, which is going to be in the character set. So we'd expect this one to go up to CA-D0 and this one to be C9. So D0, C9 on the next run round. And neither of them are updated. That's interesting. Oh, wait, hang on. We're doing... Oh, we need to do 8 of these before. God damn it. All right. I wasn't thinking. I should have put that in a different place, but never mind. I can deal with it. Okay, is that it? Have I done enough? No, one more. No, one more. There we go. 6C, C9. Actually, this one has an advance. This should be advancing, and it hasn't. There is a hole in the wall bottom left. Yeah, because it hasn't finished drawing yet, that's why. It's paused before it can draw the rest of the screen. This is still drawing the previous screen, but with the old character set. So once it goes, it'll be fine. It's just because it's paused halfway through a raster, so the raster's like here somewhere. Because if you look there, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pixels, and then it changes. So obviously it's midway through a character here. Okay, so interestingly, the screen, not the screen, the character output doesn't seem to be advancing, which is this one here, font vec, but it should be advancing. We've got Robotron font vec here, Robotron font vec here. It definitely should be advancing. Let me put the breakpoint in a more sensible place and try again. On the VZ, you can bulk transfer half the screen from a buffer at a time in a vertical line if you want to stop flickering and tearing. Yeah, I mean that sounds kind of similar to the Game Boy. The thing on the Game Boy though is even if you try and change something halfway down the screen, you will just get garbage. It won't write properly to the screen, and you won't be able to read properly from the screen. While the raster, I mean, it isn't really a raster in this case, but while the update is kind of the pixel clock, if you like, is within the screen bounds. Okay, so let's take a look. So this is our initial value. If I click go, this should have copied one character into the font. And then if I look here, you can see it's advanced this one, 6EC9, C1, but it hasn't advanced this one here. Oh, in fact, we've crashed at this point. Wow, okay. Well, that's weird. We shouldn't have crashed in the debugger. I mean, in the monitor. So next week I won't be doing Tuesday again, just next week, and then it will be back to normal again. So I will be doing Thursday and Saturday as normal. Saturday will be the game prize stream. So I definitely have to do that one. But then the week after that we'll be back to normal again. Okay, let's just check again on that. So that one's advanced, but not the next one. Oh, and then this one doesn't advance. Okay. It seems to be only sometimes advancing. which is very odd. Like, it didn't advance that time. It did that time. And that one kind of reset. Okay, yeah, there's something weird going on here. So whenever it does this, it should automatically advance the fetch by 8 and the target by 8 as well, and the font index by 1. So let's have a look. At no point do we skip over this, so that's good. This is just updating the characters up there, so I'm just going to comment that out for now. I don't think that's causing a problem, but I'm going to comment it out anyway, just in case that's for some reason overriding, but it shouldn't be doing. It's just 9, it should be fine. So we should advance the font pointer. So the font fetch, yeah, this one here, advanced by 8 and stored there. Oh, hang on. Oh no, this is fine. Then we check the font index, the Robotron font index, which have we set up? Yes, we've set that up here. And we add 1 to it and store it again, and store it in local font index. If we've reached the end of font space, +1, then we jump to wrap index, which is here. Otherwise, we do this, which is we advance the font vec. So this is the output, basically. We add 8 to it, and we store that at local font pointer. And we use 16-bit to do that, yeah. And the break, the break's there. That's why we weren't seeing it updating both. There was 2 breaks in it. Okay, so that's good. That's why we weren't seeing it. That's why we're only seeing it update every second one instead of every one. Thank you for the follow, Il Seabass. Cheers. However, it doesn't explain why this one is not advancing. So this is our target. This was not advancing. But this gets skipped over if this is true. So I wonder if this is wrong for some reason in here. It shouldn't be, because that's a constant. So that is in here somewhere. Number of base jars. It should be here, but it's not for some reason. It should definitely be up there. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Where's it getting that from? Oh, it is in constants. It is up at the top. All right. Oh, it's there. God, it was in the right place. All right. Okay, cool. So that's fine. But it means this is never getting hit. So let me put a breakpoint in here. See if we hit that breakpoint. We should be hitting that breakpoint. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't hit that breakpoint. But that seems to be doing that. So, do you see that they changed the roadmap of Commodore? Yes, I did actually. I did see that. I did wonder. I feel like something has gone on, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. But they seem to. It's kind of funny because, firstly, Perifractic has left, which in a way is kind of I think is a good thing. I'm not keen on that guy anyway. Purely just initial impressions of him. I'm sure he's a very nice guy, really, but I don't like the way he does his videos or whatever. It's irrelevant. But I think the direction he was taking, some of it was a little bit odd and not what they should have been doing. Some unnecessary cost and something that really didn't look retro at all. And it seems like now what they've done is they've moved down to a smaller version, so less memory, less video memory. I think it's the same speed. I think it's just less memory and stuff. But I think they're building it almost entirely in FPGA as well. So, no, I mean, he's not a nice person. Laxman of sound chips, yeah. But it sounds like the X8 is going to be an FPGA thing, which is something they went completely against. The whole point of it was that it wasn't going to be FPGA. And to me, it seems a little bit weird that they've kind of. I think they've realized that it's actually better to use FPGA, and it's going to be easier for them to source the parts. It's going to be cheaper for them to build as well. Surface mount tends to be cheaper to build than through hole stuff. Um, I don't know. I worry about that project. I mean, I don't care too much about it because I'm fully invested in the Mega 65, and I think the Mega 65 is a far superior machine. Um, but yeah, I do worry what's gone on with that. Yeah, that would be the best option for it. I think that would be the I think that would be the thing that would help sell it if it was like a kit, because that is kind of like the old stuff, right? That's like the ZX81, ZX80, whatever it was that came in a kit. Was it ZX80? It was ZX80, wasn't it? It would, yeah, I'd get that as well. I'd actually get that. Not that I'm that interested in coding for it, but I would just like to build something like that. It'd be kind of cool. Really, I'm not interested in it as a development machine though. So, all right, let's check out this new breakpoint. I knew tonight was not going to be straightforward. Wishful thinking, like their website app store thing. Yeah, I've not looked at it properly, but I've heard good stuff about it. I think the Mega 65 one is coming along. It needs a bit more work on it, but it's just one man doing it. It's just Tager doing it all. So, he's got his work cut out for him a little bit, but yeah. And I think we've got some good content. These competitions have been good for producing content. And even outside of the competition, there's a lot of devs working on Mega 65 stuff, and there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things kind of that you can already down, and I think the software library is just going to grow and grow and grow, especially once the machine comes out. Okay, let's take a look. So this time, hopefully, every time we do this. Right, now we're updating on both. So we are hitting the breakpoints because we are updating on both. I feel like it's freaking working now. That's annoying. 60. Yeah, this is working correctly now. CB006F01, yeah. And now, I think the only thing is it's doing too many characters now. And I think that's where the problem is. It's only supposed to do 9. It's done way more than 9. Yeah, okay. So I think that's the problem. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it's doing way too many. All right. But that's this, and this is the Robotron Cachar counter, and that should start at 0. Oh. Oh, yeah, it starts at 0. Ah, ha, ha. Oh, my God. It was that. Just a load Y instead of a load accumulator. And I think that's going to work now. Let me turn everything back on again. God damn it. Sometimes the only thing with assembly is it's very easy to write something and not notice it until way, way later. The thing to bear in mind as well is both the X8 and the X16 are going to be very, very easy to create cores for the Mega 65. So if you have a Mega 65, you should be able to run the Commander X16 and the Commander X8 anyway. So that's a requirement for this stream. Yeah. What, making silly mistakes like that? Yeah, definitely. Okay, I was looking at the wrong screen now. There we go. So let's put that back in because I think that's going to work now, and get rid of that breakpoint. So annoying. That's going to be what it is. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So now that's working. What I want to do is just go and check in here to see that it actually loads those characters in. If it loads those characters in, then we're good. That means we can start actually plotting stuff to the screen. I've got about an hour left. I'm going to go till about I'll go till just after 12:30. I'll do an hour from now. So hopefully we can just plot something to the screen and have it kind of clear and update based on this, and then that will be. We'll probably just need one or two more streams to finish the Robotron. Well, the basic Robotron section anyway. I mean, it's not bad. You think about it. We do 3 hours on a Thursday night. 3 hours is what? I mean, it's half a day in the office, right? Less than that. No, it's about half a day in the office, isn't it? Really, if you think about it, we get some stuff done. It's pretty decent. We are productive still somehow. I'm not sure how. Okay. Okay, so I can see that it has indeed drawn the Robotron stuff here. You can see there. And then straight after that, it's drawn the doors. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time I'm going to do the Robotron code after. And it should work the same, but now they should be switched around the other way, right? So 2 working days. Writing more lines of code now than at the office. I haven't written any code for work for a while now, actually. I've been hacking away at JPEGs at the moment, trying to make kind of infected JPEGs, which is kind of fun. Finding a way to sneak kind of executable code past kind of JPEG filters, past kind of well, doing the client side one first. Client side one should be pretty easy, but I want to make sure that I can do it without having to kind of change the code directly. I just want to create a file that passes the client side filter rather than, because it's client side, ignore the filter, which is quite easy to do as well. True Tonners, thanks for the resub. Appreciate it. Cheers. 11 months, wow. A good evening indeed. So yeah, if you've got a client side fit, so if you've got something in your browser that's stopping you from uploading an exe when it wants a JPEG, it's really easy to get past that, because basically you just find the piece of code that does the upload and you just call that with your file. But I want to try and get it before that. I want to try and make it so that the JPEG filter allows it through. So it's like changing the header, changing the extension, changing some data in the header so that the byte counts correct and stuff. And then when I've done that, I need to do the same on the server side. So I need to figure out how to get it through the server side. It's interesting. It's good stuff. I love this kind of thing. You know me with reverse engineering. It's kind of it's right on my street. And well, it's not true reverse engineering. It's enough to whet my appetite. I'm still digging around in hex editors and stuff and things. It's good fun. Right, let's open this up here. Okay, there we go. Right. 220. Oh yeah, thank you. I got that. Yeah. I was a little bit slow through talking, so I tend to finish what I'm saying before I answer, before I finish my train of thought, should I say, rather than what I'm saying. Okay, let's drop into this. So now what we should see, so you'll see it build up the screen. So you see that it built it up. So when we go in, the next screen is going to load from here. Where is the screen? It's not loading in. It's been slow because I'm in this mode, I think. It does take a little while. Oh, why is it being slow though? It's too slow. That's not right. First of all, let's find where this number is. So it's Control Shift F6. Okay. Let's just get into the game first. Something hasn't loaded, has it? Something's gone weird. No errors. At least I don't see any errors. Yeah, I heard about the Amiga Mini as well. I mean, I won't touch with a barge pole because it's Paul Andrews and his scam company that are building it as well. And what I find, I mean, the only reason I would possibly ever want one is for the mouse. That's the only thing I would ever want from it is the USB mouse. But you know it's going to be terrible, terrible, terrible quality. It's probably not even going to be a ball mouse either. It's probably going to be an optical mouse. It's just going to look like an Amiga mouse. I can't imagine that they can get someone to make ball mice in that particular kind of. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can. Why is this not loading? That's weird. Let's just try it again. Oh, why is that? It's gone all weird. Why is it? It's reset all my settings in Vice. What's that about? Every single one of my settings is just suddenly changed. Okay, that's fine. It's put my scan lines on for some reason. Weird. It does work. Also, my color. Yeah, something's gone weird there. I'm not sure what that's about. Oh, and there's some kind of error in here as well. Try again. Maybe it'll load properly this time. Yeah, you'd want a ball mouse FD20. Yeah, I get that, but it's kind of if you're going to make a retro console, you may as well go properly retro. But I my issue is that Paul Andrews is in it for one thing and one thing only, and that's to make money. He does not care if he makes a quality product. He does not care if the games are decent quality, and he does not care if it gets updated as well. He's in it to take the money, which means it will be as cheap as possible, just like the Commodore 64 Maxi and the Commodore 64 Mini. They're just very, very, very tiny little boards designed for one job only. I mean, just get a Raspberry Pi, for God's sake, just get a Raspberry Pi. If you really must have an Amiga case, buy a broken Amiga, stick the Raspberry Pi in it, and you know, have a better experience anyway. So, or a Mister, yeah. I've been using the Raspberry Pi 4 on my time off, and I was playing. We were playing GameCube. We were playing Dreamcast. It's very impressive. It could do quite a lot quite easily. And I've just been setting up this Note 10 as well. So I've got an old Note 10 because I can't stand the thing. So I just put it in a drawer and didn't touch it. And then I realized the other day it's a really good really good emulation device. So I've been converting it to that. So I've been filling up the 256 gig internal memory with ROMs of everything, and that will run PS2 and Wii as well. It will run Wii and PS2. He's a capitalist business. Yeah, but my problem with Paul Andrews is that he's a patent troll for one, patent and copyright troll. He claims to own certain IPs that nobody can really prove he doesn't, but he's very litigious about kind of keeping that to himself. He also he was also part of the team behind the Sony the Vega Spectrum handheld, and that was very very badly kind of managed and ended up screwing a load of people over. But because it's all done by kind of companies inside other companies, and his name ends up being cleared, and you don't realize kind of um, you don't really realize just kind of what shit they've done in the past. It's all right. He's done well with the C64 Maxi and Mini, and I do appreciate that those devices have brought more people to the scene. However, what it has done is it's created a situation where you've got, if you're a game developer, you now need to create something which supports a really old version of Vice, because that's what they run. I mean, don't be under any kind of illusion. These are just emulators. These are just very, very small, system on a chip devices which run Vice. That's it. That's all they do, and they run a very old version of Vice as well, which means you sometimes need to update things to get things to work. I question whether or not they have the license to put the games that they do on there, or whether they're picking games that they know they can get away with putting on there. Which is why you don't see some of the more popular games on these things. They're not interested in getting licenses for things. They're just interested in creating something that has a little bit of nostalgia and selling it out there. Yeah, you're better off if you want to be doing Amiga, get a Pi 400. I have one down there. I don't know where I've put it. And that stick a mouse on that, and you're off. It will do anything Amiga wise. Okay, so this seems to be working in here, but it doesn't seem to be working in the debugger. And for some reason, my graphics settings in here have gone all weird. So I'm going to try and set those up. Hang on. Yeah, Commodore PAL is not right. I can't remember what my... Well, I'll keep it on Commodore for now, but it definitely wasn't on that before. Unfiltered, normal. It's very weird. All right, let me try again on the debugger. I feel like the debugger did something weird. One of my issues I had with the C64 Mini particularly was the joystick was terrible quality. And because it was designed to look like a whatever it was called, the Competition Pro, I feel like people might have got the wrong nostalgia from it. Like they might have been playing with it and going, "Oh god, these joysticks were terrible. I forgot how bad they were." But it isn't a real Competition Pro, and that's the thing. He doesn't have the license to do that either. So what he's done is created a very shit version of the Competition Pro, sold it to people who are nostalgic about a computer they haven't touched for 30 years. Then when they go to touch it, they're like, "Oh, well, this is a bit shit, isn't it? I thought the joysticks were better than this," and they are better than that. So they're getting such a kind of bad experience of the Commodore 64, and it costs them what, £100, I think it was when it first came out. £100 will get you a Commodore 64. It might not be the best one in the world, and it might have a lot of stuff with it, but you could get a Commodore 64 on a joystick for £100 easily. Yeah, I prefer the Zipstick as well. Yeah. Uh, a Nintendo DS. Yeah, I've got a Vice on mine. You believe they do have the licenses for the games? Okay. I still wonder. I really do still wonder, because he can be a bit sneaky. I'm not convinced by him. I mean, I'll hold my hand up and say, if he does have the licenses, then great. I'll take back. I mean, I'm not saying he's kind of stealing these games at all. I'm just saying I don't really know. And his, from past experience of the things he's done, I wouldn't trust him to. Oops, let's get the right screen on. There we go. I wouldn't trust him to have the licenses either. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Dr. Vulcan. That's exactly how I feel about it as well. It's his past behavior that's made me very suspicious about anything he does now. And I don't trust him to do the things he's been doing. For instance, one of the things I'm not sure about is Cloanto, right? So Cloanto owned the licenses for the C64 ROMs. I'm not sure how he's got away with that, whether or not he's paying a license fee to them for using the ROM, because he's using the ROM in Vice, but because Vice is open source, he might have somehow got away with it. So I'm not convinced. So um, the A500 profile worms, another world, Zool kickoff to speedball. That's true. Oh, there is a Cloanto license logo on the box. Okay, that makes sense then. All right, let's check this out. So what we should see now is the other way around, with doors first and the Robotron at the end. Cool. So that's perfect. This is done exactly what I expected to do. I don't know why I was having some weird issues with the machine then, but whatever. Okay. Right, on to the next section. So now we need to be able to add stuff to the screen. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add a couple in our screen 20 here. So we'll jump to Robotron in it, and then we'll do a start Robotron, which we'll just do in here for now. But this it will have to be in here because it needs to be screen specific. Different screens have different Robotron kind of setups. So yeah, I saw that. I did see that. All right, okay. Start Robotron. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to do that basically. We need to do this a number of times. So what we're going to do is we're going to let's just add one. Let's add one and see if we can see it. That's the start. So this is our type, and this is our position. So load X, our position. Let's do 10. Well, that's 16, but that'll do. 16, 16. So okay, so this is just going to add a single. Oh god, my voice went really funny then. Oh, yeah, it is a minefield. The thing is it is always the case when any company kind of splits up, like gets bought out by companies. The things tend to shatter across the kind of across. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, there's a guy. Isn't he doing like a handheld? I think he's doing a handheld Commodore machine. I think it's that one, isn't it? He's doing a handheld Commodore. Yeah, but yeah, the companies when they go bust, it's really hard to track down where who owns the trademarks anymore. It's like some of the Taito stuff. So Taito are now owned by Square Enix. So when I was trying to find the owner for Parasol Stars, we had to go to Square Enix to kind of ask them. But even then, it was kind of like we're not really sure if it's the right place or not. I think it is the right place, but I don't know. It's weird. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna call this. This is gonna call add. Just gonna come in here. It's gonna add one to our list, and then we need to do an update. So we're gonna need to do clear and update. So let's start by doing the clear. So clear is going to be quite simple. We'll treat all of them as one by one for now, so we can kind of ignore this line. But what we need to do is in here, we're going to take we're going to go backwards through this list. Oops. Okay, so we're going to go backwards through the list of entities. We're going backwards because it just makes this comparison at the end easier. It just takes a couple of cycles off, saves us 2 or 3 cycles, 2 cycles actually. and now we do some comparisons. So we're going to load data.type, y, and if it's equal to 0, we're going to skip. So the reason I do these like this is because if we take the branch, this is 3 cycles. If we don't take the branch, it's 2. So if we don't take the branch, we just drop through and it's 2 cycles. So by doing it this way, right, always compare to do the skip. I mean, you have to anyway because of this. But yeah, this is why this kind of works quite nicely. We're going to do the same with screen high. And we're going to skip here. So that's those 2. And now we just need to clear the characters. So if that character is not set, then we can actually grab that character, which we already have here now, and we're going to store that in. We're going to use another temporary value down here. So what we'll do is we'll use this value here. Screen, no, not that one, but we'll use this one. So then we just need to get the screen low as well. And store that at like that. And then we can take... Actually, we can probably change this slightly to self-mod. No, we can't use self-mod because if we use these, we need to add... Yeah, self-mod would be the wrong thing to use here. Okay, so I am going to change this to X instead of Y because we're going to use 0 page. So we need to make sure that we keep the Y free. So that's fine. And then we're going to do like this. And we're basically just going to take 0 and we're going to put it there. So what we're doing here is we're just going through the entire list of entities. If there is an entity there, we're gonna store that store a space at that location. So just release the game and wait for the lawsuit to see you as... I mean, that's not a bad idea as well, actually. And if anything, it's good publicity as well. I like that approach, though. Yeah. Don't ask for permission. Ask for forgiveness. I can't remember who said that. Worked for great guy. Well, it didn't. It got Well, actually, it got a lot of publicity, didn't it? Yeah. It did get it a lot of publicity. I mean, everybody knows Guyana Sisters, and actually, it's a pretty big franchise nowadays, right? I mean, it's not a pretty big IP. Sorry, not franchise. It's it's not the biggest in the world, but they do still release games, and they obviously still make money from it. One thing that sealed my very low opinion of Paul Andrews and Retro Games was his nasty and litigious. Yeah, the stuff he did with Octavius was horrible. That was just awful. There was no need for that as well. And she wasn't... I mean, if anything, she was given the publicity. Right? This is a character who just had kind of been lost from the consciousness, if you like. I mean, people knew of it, but she was making it making people aware of it. And the thing is it was not so... All right, it's fine if he owns it, he has the right to ask her to stop using it, but it's the way he went about it was absolutely god awful, and not the way to do it at all. And yeah, I mean, I already had... Yeah, exactly as you say, Dr. Vulcan. My opinion was already very low of him anyway because of the Vegas stuff. But then to see the way he went about that was just awful. So yeah, Octavius, he's bad. That's good, but it's not good the way he did that as well. Yeah, really not a nice person at all. Yeah. Anyway, let's crack on. So this should clear everything now. So we should be able to call that from here, because we need to do that every frame. Now, this is going to change slightly depending on whether it needs to clear 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 2 by 1, or 2 by 2. But the good thing with this screen is there's not a lot of other stuff going on it. There's no laser on this screen. This screen is all about the Robotron. So we have the ability to dynamically scale the multiplexer and dynamically scale the particle system as well. So so it should be fine to kind of do this stuff. This is quite similar to the particle system in a way, very similar kind of setup. Probably a bit slower than the particle system, but the particle system is pretty efficient, so we should be all right, I think. Okay, loop through the entities. Okay, so we're going to do the same again. We're going to go backwards through these. Now, if you're doing this import, if you weren't updating the whole thing in one go, then you would have to kind of make sure that you cleared and updated in the correct order here. But because we're just going to do it all in one go, it really doesn't matter which way we do it. But yeah, we're gonna loop through the entities again. So this is our first pass through. We're going to call this skip 1 as well, because it's likely we're going to be doing multiple of these. But for now, we'll just do the first pass. And what do we want to do in this pass? So what we want to do is we want to identify. First of all, we need to make sure that we skip these things, because if the thing is not actually, if the screen height is 0, then we need to draw it. So if the type is 0, then the entity is inactive, so we skip. So same as a clear. If the entity has a type of 0, we don't need to do anything. We just skip it. However, if its entity isn't 0, then we need to draw it to the screen. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to do a similar check to this, but this time we need to do the opposite. So if the screen height is not equal to 0, then oops. Let's say, trying to scale this out. There we go. This has already been drawn once. So skip screen address fetch. So what do I mean by that? So if there is already an address in this location, in other words, if this is non-zero, then we already have a screen address for this thing, so we don't have to do anything. This is just drawing. This isn't this. I mean, this should actually probably be called draw instead. I don't know, it would be something like this, and there would be an update in the middle here. So in fact, let's do that. Let's separate this into draw like that. There we go. Okay. So if we've already got a screen position, then we don't need to fetch a new one. So we just jump to this location here. And at this location here, we can just draw the entity as well. So I'm going to put this in because we do need to actually obey this kind of these 4 different types later on. For now, we're just doing the 1 by 1, but we will need to draw the rest later. And basically, we do this. I am going to grab that again, and the reason I'm going to grab that again is because we're probably going to change it here. Or actually, if I do that, there we go. Because we already have that value, so we can do that. Yeah, that should be fine. So then what do we need to do here? Well, what we need to do here is we need to actually set these values in screen high and screen low. So this is going to be quite easy. I'm going to change that to a store. Because we're going to basically, at the end of this section, we'll have fetched the screen address. Okay, so how do we fetch it? Oh, God's sake, I've turned insert off again. And I've turned caps lock on. I'm not sure this keyboard is right for me either, to be honest. Okay, so how do we do that? Okay, so we've got the character location, so we're going to use that. So what we're going to do is we're going to, I think I can do this. Load Y with tables dot screen row LSB comma. Oh, that would be load accumulate. There we go. And this would be load Y with data dot char Y of X. Okay, so now this gives us a least significant byte and a most significant byte. The most significant byte is going to go in here, and the least significant byte is going to go into screen low. However, we also need to add on to this the char X, because this only gives us the position at the very left of the screen. We need the position a bit further along, so we need to add the char X in as well, which means at this point here we also need to add 0 just in case the carry is hanged over, and that will give us a screen address for this thing. So that should be enough in theory to draw the item on the screen, except we're not drawing the right thing here, so we need to grab that as well. So in this case we're just grabbing this character here, char 1 by 1, because we're not doing anything other than that at the moment. We're just doing char 1 by 1. So this should, is that draw? Let's add, this is draw. Yeah, this value here should automatically by the copy chars function have that value in place, which is this bit here. So what we should see now is a single Robotron thing in the middle of the screen somewhere. Well, probably not the middle, it's probably kind of down towards the bottom, but so the only thing we need to do is call update, and we need to do that in the screen code because this is screen specific code. We need to make sure that this is always called in the screen update here. So now I am going to put borders around this because I want to see where this is happening. It may be that this is better before all of this, or at least there. In fact, I'm going to move it there because it's going to be better before the doors anyway. Let's have a look. Because obviously the longer this takes and the more this encroaches on our screen space. That's failed, hasn't it? No symbol Robotron screen, but I did save. There we go. The more we encroach on the screen space with these routines, the more chance there is of things flickering, which we want to avoid. And obviously, the more the maximum number is, even if we skip over them, we've still got to run this piece of code and this piece of code for everyone on the screen. So this is, if we do take the loop, which we will be doing, so that's 5 cycles. This is probably going to be 5 as well, so that's 10. And if we skip, that would be 13. So it'd be 13 cycles for every one that we do. If we've got a maximum of 32, that means we're going to get 390, roughly 400 cycles, which is about seven raster lines, give or take. So even with nothing going on, we're going to use 7 raster lines to do this. And obviously reducing the maximum number is going to reduce that down. So this is why it's important to keep these routines as kind of lean as possible. What failed there? Oh, Robotron add. Okay, so that should be hot tubs. Oh god, hot tub streams. I just don't get how they're allowed to do that at all. It seems ridiculous to me. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's added 2 in. All right, it's added 2, but I look at that, automatically get the collision because of the way the collision system works. Okay, well, that's interesting. You can see it's happening down here. So this is really good that the update's happening down here. Gives us plenty of time to do stuff. So I'm pleased with that. Let me just see if I shoot around. Yeah, it doesn't change very much. Actually, a little bit more than I would have expected. But I think we can probably reduce the entity count down to 24. I think let's just have a look how that affects it. Let's do that. Because this will have two effects. One, it will reduce the amount of memory that we're going to use, and two, it will reduce the amount of raster time that we're going to use as well. So, the Marine Mammal Rescue Hotline. Jesus Christ. Trying to capture some of that fans business. Yeah, I saw that there was talk of OnlyFans removing all the sexually explicit content as well, but there was a bit of a backlash on it. I was thinking, surely if they did that, their whole business model would just collapse because that's the only reason people use that, right? Or am I wrong? Do people use it for anything else? I don't know enough about it, to be honest. Maybe I need my own OnlyFans page. Just me in some boxes. Okay. Well, I mean, it's good that it's put some on the screen, but it's put two on, and there should only be one. So why? Let's figure out why. Start Robotron is in here. It's in the init. It should just be adding one here. Except it's adding two for some reason. Okay. Let's go and have a look in add. Are we doing anything weird in here? So we're clearing it once. Well, let's put a. I'm going to put a breakpoint in the update. No, not in the update. In the draw. Yeah, I'm going to do a breakpoint here. I want to see, because in theory we should see nothing, and then oh no, because it's going to break. Yeah, it's breaking there and then break at the end as well. All right. Wrench plus so zero want to make a sprite. Where's that? Okay, and that might be a 10-point if that's correct. I think that's worthy of 10 points. You mean this one here? Oh, that's fine. It's just because I'm counting a loop backwards. It only makes a sprite if this value is non-zero. And that should only happen in one place. Also, interestingly, the position that it's drawing in two different positions, which is slightly odd. All right, let's just try running, see what happens. Classic WoW stream that says it all. So have a quick look at that. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the Avenue Q, isn't it? That's what it sounded like anyway, just from that split second. Brilliant, brilliant music. I think it's ended now. I think they've ended it finally. It's been going for years. Very, very funny show. If you haven't seen it, find a video of it. It's definitely worth a watch. But yeah, one of the main tunes in it is called "The Internet is for Porn," and it's really funny watching what basically looks like Sesame Street, but the monsters are singing about porn. Kind of funny. All right. What was the checking here? Oh yeah, I wanted to check how they're drawn on the screen. Okay, so they're actually not drawn at this point, which is interesting. They shouldn't be drawn until the player control has gone or something. Ah, there we go. Problem is we're not seeing the clear because. Okay, it's not helping, is it at all? I'm stopping at the same place every time. All right. I think what am I doing wrong here? Okay, so at the moment I'm checking every single character I know, which is wrong. I should be doing it just here, basically. Yeah, Avenue Q is brilliant. Have your dick and Trump? Yes. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. I think they've ended it now. I think it ended like last year or something, or it did on off Broadway anyway. Yeah, I went when I went to New York. I watched because I mean, I don't know if I've told you before, but I am a massive fan of musicals and Broadway and the West End, and so that's kind of why part of the reason I live in London, because I like going to those things. But yeah, when I went to New York, that was one of the shows I watched while I was there, and I was so grateful for finally having seen it. I'd seen it so much, but seen adverts for it so much and heard so much about it and never seen it. I keep meaning to go and see that SB. It's one of those that I keep seeing advertised on the tube and stuff and in the metro and things, and I just think I don't know. There's something about it that makes me not sure, but it was really well. Maybe I'll go and watch it then. If nobody's ever recommended it to me, that's the thing. One of the best ones was Drunk Shakespeare. I don't know if you've seen that, which is where basically it's a proper Shakespeare production. But what they do is one person is one of the main characters is chosen at random. So imagine Romeo and Juliet, right? And they'll pick a character at random before the show, like in the morning or something. Say they pick Romeo, and then Romeo's job before the show is to get as drunk as possible. So they give him vodka and beer all day long, and then they do the show. So it's basically a Shakespeare show, but one of the characters is absolutely shit faced, and he's just causing like when he's trying to climb up to the balcony, he's falling off and swearing at people and just forgetting his lines and stuff. So very 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 funny. Book of Mormon is brilliant. I've seen that a few times now. I love that. One of my favorites. Along with Matilda, actually. Matilda's very, very good. A lot of people think it's kind of kids only, but while it is very popular with the kids, it's a very, very, very good show as well. Genius writing from Tim Minchin. That guy really knows how to write musical. Why? Right. So. See, I'm not sure what's going on here now. Why is it drawing 2 and not just 1? Okay, I guess what we can do is we can look at the data and just make sure that this array here is indeed just there's just one value in here. So so I need to find where Robotron is. Hopefully I get the address for it, which I do not. Okay, that's fine. It's easy. Oh, actually, we can get it from the build. Yeah, Tim Minchin. Tim Minchin is brilliant. I absolutely love him, and I think he's Matilda's a work of genius. It really is. He also did Groundhog Day as well. He did the music for that, which I saw. Where did I see that? I think I saw that in London. It came over. It'd been in America for about a year, and it came over for a couple of months. It did 6 months at the Old Vic. And I saw that, and that was very good as well. I'm surprised I didn't come back. That was very cool because they kind of mixed. I mean, obviously it's a musical. It's based on Groundhog Day, which is brilliant. A great movie. But they to do some of the stuff they use magic. So they did like stage magic while they were doing. Like he was trying to kill himself over and over again, and he'd go like get himself in the shower, pull the curtain around, or in the bath, sorry, and pull the curtain around and throw a toaster in the bath, and then he'd obviously die, and then you'd see him walk on somewhere else as well. So they were doing lots of kind of disappearing and reappearing stuff to kind of show that, you know, it was, no matter what he did, he would just appear again somewhere else. It was kind of cool. Anyway, that's enough about musicals. I could talk about them all night. Are really good. Right, okay. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to do much longer, about another 10 minutes or so, I think. But yeah, if you haven't already listened to the Matilda soundtrack, I definitely go and recommend it, because Tim Minchin is a genius. He's very good with music anyway, but he can really make a catchy and funny tune as well. Musicals and solar stations get him off track. Yeah, they do. Okay, why are we team 2? That's what I don't understand. Okay. Oh. Oh no, that is the high bite. Okay, that's fine. See, this should only be happening once. So if I was to put a breakpoint in here, I should only ever hit it once and then never hit it again. And then I'll also, at the same time, I can check what the location of that Robotron code is. Robotron is 600. Oh wow, that's kind of spot on. That's... I'll look in a second, Andy. Hang on. All right, so once, yeah, and then never again. Okay. I think it's drawing in the wrong place, and therefore it's never clearing. It's drawing once in the wrong place. Which register do I load the max number? I don't load the max number. Oh, X, you mean this one here? And then I count it down, but then I don't use X again. X isn't used anywhere in here, or other than as an index, and then it counts down to 0 here. I'm going to put that in brackets. I don't think that's it. Let me just try this, because I never know with a kick assembly. It can be a bit funny sometimes. Why is that not loaded now? So 1. Yeah, it's still drawing 2 though. That's weird. So I set it at 1616, which is here. So this one is just kind of extra for some reason. And I don't know exactly why. So what I want to do is I want to go and have a look. Actually, let me just load that all again, because I think I've just closed the wrong window. I want to go and have a look at the data. It'd be a nice game for a Friday stream. What's that? Oh, 12 minutes. Ah, okay. I don't know what that is. I'll tell you what I did see. I was watching I don't know if anybody watches Wooby on Twitch, but I quite like watching him. He's funny. He was playing oh shit, what was it called? I'll find it. He put a YouTube video out for it recently. It was pretty decent. It's just like a little co-op game, but it looked really kind of like you really got to co-op on it. It's very simple. You just got to get from one side of the map to the other, grab a key and open a door and get everyone through the door. But my god, it looked hilarious. It looked like a real kind of funny game for people to play together, because you have to kind of work in unison, and like some levels you're tied together, some levels you've got to stand on each other's head. Ah, okay. Murder Groundhog Day. Sure, you know, hitting it bloody hard. You have to break the cycle. That sounds interesting. That seems to be kind of a common theme at the moment, doesn't it? You've got Deathloop as well, which is coming out soon, which is a similar Groundhog Day kind of concept. Right. Okay. 6E00. So this first number is our next index. Oh, why is that on 0? But anyway, it looks like if you look here, we've only got one item that's set to 0, 1, and that's correct. That index hasn't increased. That's a bit worrying. That definitely needs to increase. So let's just go and check that that's not broken. I think I know what I've done wrong here. Yeah, I've incremented it but not stored it, so I need to store that here. Okay, that's fine. That I can't see that fixing it, but you know, who knows? It might do. Maybe it will. But it was definitely a bug anyway. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so we've got 0. Oh, hang on. What's this 1, 0? Hang on. Oh, no, that's right, because we've got 16, 24, then 1, 0. Maybe it's picking that one up for some reason. Maybe it's counting one more than it should. But I'm not sure why it would be counting one more than it should. Still see 2. Okay. So just to test that theory, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the... I really don't want to count the loop the other way, though. That's the thing. This should be fine. Starting from this position should be fine. We're only hitting this break once, so it means it's only been added to the screen once. Which means this should only ever be happening once as well. Ah, I can see the problem. We're using y-index here, but we're not actually resetting it. So anytime this value in here changes, which it will, based on these, it was gonna change that. So the first time you went in, it was using this value here. Then the second time you went in, it was skipping over that. So it wasn't clearing it, and it wasn't drawing it properly either. So that should fix it. I'm quite pleased with that tonight. I think we've done all right. So I think I'll call it a night here. I've just read out a lemonade. I'm not going to drink anymore, and I'm quite tired. There we go. Excellent. All right. Okay. So on the next stream, what we'll do is we'll start to create. Well, actually, before we create the kind of scripting, because there's going to be some kind of spawn order kind of thing. On the next stream, what we'll do is we'll just add more in. So now we can add multiple in and have them move around and start to involve the sprites as well. Then once we get that in place, we can start scripting them. So spawn 8 of these, wait 10 seconds, spawn 8 of these, and we'll keep a kind of very simple script for each of these screens. When is Resident Evil 3? That will be on Saturday. I will get it set up for Saturday. I might play that on the well, it depends. If I get my controller for this, I'm getting a Razer Kishi, whatever it's called, then I'll play it on this, like mirrored to the screen, because I should be able to just put it through the capture card and play it on the screen as well. Because that'll be easier as well for me to stream. So, okay, let's find someone to raid. I'm quite pleased with tonight. I was relatively productive, I would say. Let's have a look. Who've we got? Chalk's on. I've not raided Chalk for a while. Let's go and see what he's up to. Looks like he's playing. I'm not sure what that is. It looks like no, it looks snazzy. I'm not sure what it is. Let's go and raid him anyway. But yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for joining. I shall see you all on Saturday. We'll do some Resident Evil 3 on Saturday. Then next week there'll be no Tuesday stream, as I said, but I will stream Thursday and Saturday as normal. And I might even do the Friday as well. Depends. See how I feel. I might do a PlayStation Friday stream. Okay, cool. Let's go and raid Chulk now. Thanks, guys. Take care. See you all soon. Cheerio.